Hello, my name is Jim Dunn. I'm a student at Boise State University, here to tell you about the critical problem that exists today throughout America and especially here in Idaho. The issue is homelessness, and it's everywhere. It's in my neighborhood, it's in your neighborhood, and it's not going away. Because I was required to have service learning hours through my GS400 program, I chose the Boise Rescue Mission to do my service learning in, and I volunteered there to serve food. And the decision has changed my life. As I got involved in the issues with homelessness, I found out how vital it is that we all know about this. We've seen the beggars that populate nearly every street corner. They hold up signs that say, "I lost my job. Please help. Anything helps." A sign something like this. Homelessness affects us all. We try to look away. We try to tell ourselves that they need to get a life, that they're drunks or drug addicts. Sometimes we want to roll down the window and say, "Get a life!" But then we just drive away. Homelessness in America is a problem we can no longer ignore. It's time to examine the extent of the problem, the causes, and the various attempts to address the issues. In earlier times, homelessness was perceived to be a sure sign that the affected person had made serious bad choices. Its causes were attributed to habitual misuse of drugs or alcohol, or perhaps mental illness. We used to be so sure that it was a result of a character flaw and only a minor problem. But Bob Dylan's message rings true today. Times, they are changing. Homelessness is everywhere in America today. Every state, including Idaho, has seen it grow at a rapid rate. State and federal governments are busy attempting to address the issues. According to the National Alliance to End Homelessness, in 2 years, from 2005 to 2007, right here in Idaho, chronic homelessness increased by 68%. That's a big number. This multimedia production will examine the issues and the causes of homelessness. Next, we will explore the government and faith-based approaches to treating the homeless. Finally, we will suggest ways that you can get involved. In the 21st century, the national economy stumbled. In fact, some say it fell flat on its face. We can blame it on international corporations moving jobs offshore. We can blame it on the idea that workers work more efficiently and therefore less workers are needed. We can blame it on the banks or the politicians. We can even camp out down there at the Capitol building and protest. But blame doesn't end the game. Only one thing is certain: homelessness is becoming a problem that can no longer be ignored. Nationwide, over 600,000 people are homeless on every given night. Locally, each city struggles to cope with the growth of the problems. Chronic homelessness is described as people who have been without an address for over 1 year, and is generally attributed to mental illness, substance abuse, or in some cases, post-traumatic stress syndrome. There are government programs to deal with these issues, but economic homelessness accounts for the largest rise in the numbers of the homeless today. Simply defined, economic homelessness means that someone lost a job, someone lost an income, and now has the inability to replace that income. In the past, the governments tended to criminalize homelessness. That's no longer possible. The Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals in 2006 ruled that homelessness cannot be legislated against because it comes under the protection of the Eighth Amendment. This decision caused cities to re-examine their attitudes towards homelessness, and while police officers still today enforce the laws to deter people from sleeping in the park or loitering or urinating in public, they're more likely to redirect the homeless people towards the services that are available. Faith-based organizations have historically stood at the forefront of service providers to the homeless. Most of us understand that when we feel hopeless, we turn to our church, our synagogue, or a temple. Unlike the public sector and government agencies, faith-based communities and groups tend to see homelessness not as a problem so much, but a symptom of a deeper problem. And they stand ready to offer meals, clothing, re-education, and spiritual guidance designed to help address the underlying causes. When one examines the governmental agencies' approach to homeless, it comes down to looking through the lenses of finances. Public sector and government agencies are all funded by taxation, and politicians are tasked with addressing this or that particular problem. There is a traditional sense of resistance to raising taxes, and so politicians approach the issue of homelessness with limiting budget concerns. The result is often that these political outcomes are less than ideal, and money alone is not the answer to homelessness. Contrast this to the faith-based approach. Homelessness is no longer seen as just a problem, but a symptom of a deeper problem. If treatment is to be effective, one must address the destructive attitudes, beliefs, and practices that brought about that slide into homelessness. Sadly, until recently, very few people were born homeless. So how would a faith-based organization view the issue? Unhampered by constitutional restrictions on the use of taxpayer money and financed primarily by donations, the faith-based organizations are left free to treat the whole person. And at the physical level, food and clothing is provided, education is offered and encouraged, and the recipients are helped to learn valuable new employment skills. But the faith-based community is concerned with spiritual and moral values too. And it is here that real changes in lifestyle can be seen to occur. Defining and introducing words like honesty, integrity, faith, trust, and forgiveness, even self-forgiveness, can bring about a healing of a broken spirit that led the unwary soul into the homeless situation. Reference books are usually available. Faith-based organizations using private funding can teach people to believe in themselves and others, to learn to forgive themselves and others, and to help move from the formerly homeless and the helpless to new places in society. As a working, self-sustaining citizen, they will willingly reconnect with the mainstream. The Boise Rescue Mission is a local faith-based organization that has been assisting the homeless for more than 50 years. A range of programs and services is available to all who ask, whether one needs a meal, some clean, dry clothes, or a bed to sleep in, or a reason to trust and believe in others. The mission is ready to serve. Homelessness is everyone's problem and a symptom of a broken spirit. In the 21st century, faith-based organizations like the Boise Rescue Mission regularly team with the city, county, state, and federal agencies to bring hope, health, employment, and housing to those who have lost all hope. Skeptics may question the methods that rely on such concepts as God or Spirit, and they may scoff at the naivety of the approach. But results are carefully cataloged, records are available for verification, and a staff member at the Boise Rescue Mission would be glad to sit down with you and talk about his journey from homelessness to hope. Thank you very much.